Hi everyone, I'm Medalla Bautista and I'm so excited to be joining you for Asian Pacific American Read-In Week. I'll be reading you some stories from the book called We Are Inspiring, the stories of 32 inspirational Asian American women written by Angel Trazo. Angel Trazo is a second-generation Filipina American artist and aspiring scholar from the Bay Area. Anna Mae Wong. Anna Mae Wong, or Wong Lu Song, was born on January 3rd, 1905 in Los Angeles, California. She grew up working in her father's laundry in Chinatown. After completing laundry deliveries, Anna used her tips to buy movie tickets. Watching movies inspired her to become an actress. At first, her parents did not approve of her acting dreams, but Anna was unstoppable. She started as an extra, but soon began taking lead roles in American films. She was always cast as stereotypical Asian roles, like the China doll or evil dragon lady. This made her sad. Her father had always said, "We must be proud always of our people and our race." Nevertheless, she took these roles to help support her family. In 1936, she traveled to China, where her parents now lived. There, Anna learned to love her Chinese heritage. She promised herself that she would never play again in a film which shows the Chinese in an unsympathetic light. Anna was the first Chinese American Hollywood movie star, as well as the first to gain international recognition. She acted for 4 decades in silent films, talkies, and early television. Grace Lee Boggs. Grace Yu Ping, Jade Peace, Lee Boggs was born on June 27, 1915, in Providence, Rhode Island, above her father's Chinese restaurant. In 1940, she earned her PhD in philosophy at Bryn Mawr. However, although she was a talented scholar, no university at the time would hire a Chinese American woman to teach ethics or political thought. So, Grace turned her passion towards civil rights activism. She married an African American auto worker and fellow activist James Boggs and moved to Detroit. Together, they fought for civil rights and the Black Power movement. She's a Chinese American activist and author. And here's a quote from her. "You cannot change any society unless you take responsibility for it. Unless you see yourself as belonging to it and responsible for changing it." Yuri Kochiyama. Yuri Kochiyama was born on May 19, 1921 in San Pedro, California, to Japanese immigrant parents. She grew up like any other American girl and described her 20-year-old self as a small-town gal living comfortably and totally apolitical. Then, on December 7, 1941, Japan bombed Pearl Harbor. Everything changed. Yuri and her family were forced out of their home and incarcerated in a concentration camp, also known as internment camps or relocation camps, a plot of farmland and makeshift barn houses surrounded by barbed wire fences. They kind of look like this. She went to Camp Jerome in Arkansas, one of 10 concentration camps spread across the U.S. Yuri was one of 120,000 Americans and immigrants of Japanese ancestry who were detained. Yuri is a Japanese American activist. Build bridges, not walls. After World War II, Yuri moved to Harlem, New York, and spent her time at the Harlem Freedom School. Freedom schools teach the importance of learning about one's ethnic history and how to help one's community. In 1963, Yuri became good friends with human rights activist Malcolm X. Together, they fought for the civil rights of Asian, Black, and all Americans who felt marginalized. There we go. Patsy Mink. Patsy Matsu Takemoto Mink was born on December 6, 1927 in Maui, Hawaii. Her parents are Nisei, or second-generation Japanese Americans, making Patsy a Sansei, or third-generation Japanese American. In 1948, Patsy completed her bachelor's degrees in zoology and chemistry from the University of Hawaii and dreamed of becoming a doctor. However, none of the medical schools she applied to would accept women. She thought that the best way to force medical schools to accept women would be through the judicial process. So she went to law school. Here's Patsy. Even after passing the bar exam, Patsy had trouble finding work as an attorney due to gender discrimination. So Patsy started her solo practice and became the first Japanese American woman to practice law in Hawaii. In 1964, she became the first Asian American woman and the first woman of any ethnic minority to be elected to the United States Congress, where she served 6 consecutive terms for a total of 12 years. In 1970, she became the first Democratic woman to deliver a State of the Union response. Patsy spent her career fighting for her dreams, and in succeeding, she paved the way towards gender equity. Vera Wang. Vera Ellen Wang was born on June 27, 1949 in New York City to Chinese immigrant parents. Just after graduating from Sarah Lawrence College, she became the youngest editor at Vogue magazine, where she stayed for 17 years. Following Vogue, Vera joined the fashion brand Ralph Lauren and later created her eponymous fashion house, Vera Wang, which specializes in bridal gowns. She has dressed celebrities like Michelle Kwan and Michelle Obama. She is a Chinese American fashion designer. Maya Lin. She is a Chinese American architect and artist. Maya Yinglin was born on October 5, 1959 in Athens, Ohio, to immigrant parents. In 1981, when she was only 21 and a senior at Yale University, Maya's design was chosen out of 2,573 submissions as the winner for the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. Her minimalist design was criticized for its lack of patriotic motifs. There were no men on horseback or American flags. Nevertheless, Maya's visionary monuments moves the hearts of many. She designed an elegant pair of black granite walls inscribed with the names of the men and women who gave their lives during the Vietnam War. Maya creates earthworks that speak to the relationship between man-made objects and nature, and has also designed the Civil Rights Memorial in Alabama and the Museum of Chinese in America in New York. In 2009, she was awarded the National Medal of Arts by President Barack Obama. Margaret Cho. She is a Korean-American comedian and actress. Margaret Morin Cho was born on December 5, 1968, to Korean parents in San Francisco. Her father is a Korean joke book writer, and her mother defied an arranged marriage to marry him. A queer Korean woman, Margaret's comedy acknowledges issues of family, race, gender, and other facets of her identity. She started writing comedy at 14 as a way to escape bullying. In 1994, she starred in and was the executive producer of All American Girl, one of the first shows to feature an East Asian family. She is also a 3-time Emmy and Grammy nominee. Thi Bui. She is a Vietnamese American artist, author, and teacher. Thi Bui was born in Vietnam in 1975 and immigrated to the United States just 3 months before the end of the Vietnam War in 1978. Her family escaped to the United States as boat people, refugees who traveled by boat from Southeast Asia to America. Her graphic novel, The Best We Could Do tells her mother's and father's family stories in Vietnam during the fall of Saigon and is a national bestseller. T also illustrated Bo Fee's children's book, A Different Pond. She currently works as a professor for the MFA in comics at the California Colleges of the Arts. Ruby Ibarra. She is a Filipino-American singer and rapper. Ruby Ibarra was born on February 25, 1993 in Tacloban, Philippines. At age 4, her family immigrated to San Lorenzo, California. Her life in the Bay Area exposed her to a variety of cultures, experiences, and most importantly, hip-hop. She grew up as a 90s kid, blasting Tupac, Eminem, and Wu-Tang Clan. After graduating from UC Davis, she began her career as a singer, songwriter, and music producer. She started posting on YouTube in 2010 and since has had 3 independent videos, each gain over 1 million views in less than a week. Rapping in both Tagalog and English, she hopes to express the significance of Filipino culture on her identity. Angel Trazo. She's the author of this book. Talika Angelica Aclayar Trazo was born on June 18, 1995 in San Jose, California, to Filipino immigrant parents. When she was 6, she knew that she wanted to become a writer and illustrator, but was afraid that this dream was too risky. So, she was a biology major and pre-med student at Colgate University. However, she continued to make art through her second major, studio art. After graduating college in 2017, she didn't apply to pre-med post-baccalaureate programs as she'd planned. Instead, she took on a summer marketing internship in NYC. When that ended, she spent a year working retail and took her first Asian American Studies class at De Anza Community College. During the gap year, she realized her passion for ethnic studies and applied to graduate programs. She was admitted to UCLA as an Asian American Studies MA student and hopes to graduate in 2020. Angel dreams of becoming an historian and sharing stories through visual arts. Thank you. You are inspiring. And these are just a few of the stories included in this book, and I hope you'll get a chance to read all of the 32 inspirational Asian American stories that's included on here.